Actress Catherine O'Hara passed away on January 30 at the age of 71, leaving the world in shock. The voice coach Michael Bublé is among those mourning her departure, sending a moving tribute to O'Hara. Bublé paid a moving homage to O'Hara on Instagram on January 30. The singer wrote, "Heartbroken doesn't even begin to cover it. Catherine O'Hara was one of a kind. There is a unique light in this world, and her passing weighs heavily on me in ways I cannot adequately express. She wasn't just a legendary artist, actor, and comedian," he said. "She was a true advocate for Canada, bright, brave, incredibly creative, and incredibly human. In addition to making everyone laugh, she gave them a sense of belonging." Bublé said, "She inspired me more as an artist than she'll ever know. She set the bar for what it means to represent your country with excellence and grace, and all while ever losing warmth or humility. My heart is broken for her family, her loved ones, and everyone who adored her, both here in Canada and around the world," he wrote. "If you're grieving this loss, you're not alone. We're all clutching a piece of this pain together. Rest easy, Catherine," Bublé added. "I appreciate everything you've done." Bublé's fans flooded the comments section with condolences and messages of love and support. "Well said. It has rocked my morning," one fan wrote. "She was a Canadian legende who honored Canada beautifully and gracefully her whole life. This is such a significant loss for the planet. The fact we will never see a new scene with Moira is the saddest part of it all. Beautiful tribute to our queen," another fan noted. "I'm crying," said one follower. "The world and Canada lost our favorite mother and a comic genius. My heart is absolutely broken. Thank you, Catherine, for so many laughs, and for always reminding one to be as kind and humble wherever you are in life." Another fan added, "Ripe. I'm totally gutted. As Canadians, we were so delighted she was ours." One person wrote, "Queen. Icon. Wish we could have had 10 more years of laughter with her." Another fan added, "Thank you for this beautiful tribute. I'm devastated. Loving her since watching her on STTV as a kid in Ottawa. She was my comic idol, and a beautiful human." The lights in the theater gradually went down, the kind of gradual fade that seems more like a memory settling into place than a technological indication. One wavering note, as quiet as a sigh, was retained by the orchestra. As the room fell silent, the faces in the front row lit blue from their phones before going dark one by one. With one hand encircling the microphone stand and the other flat against his chest, as if supporting something delicate within, Michael Bublé stood by himself in the middle of the stage. This wasn't simply another stop on tour. It was neither a night of swing standards and heartwarming love songs nor a well-rehearsed holiday show. This was something else. This was for Catherine. Michael remarked, scarcely raising his voice above a whisper. "I wasn't sure I could do this tonight. However, she is the one who taught me how to laugh through tears." The audience immediately understood who he was referring to. O'Hara Catherine, legend of comedy, a Canadian gem, scene stealer. She was a mother figure to a whole generation that watched her offer flawless absurdity in Schitt's Creek, or both panic and survive as the iconic mother in Home Alone. But to Michael Bublé, she was something more intimate. She was a relative. And he wasn't merely paying tribute to her work this evening. He was doing her a favor. A Canadian-born Bond, Michael Bublé was a young man from Burnaby, British Columbia, with a large voice and an even greater goal. Long before the Grammy Awards, the packed arenas, and the stylish tuxedos, the name Catherine O'Hara was already well known. She was more than simply an actress to him. She was evidence that someone from their region of the world could succeed. "She made it feel possible," he once said in an earlier interview. For example, perhaps a strange child who adored Sinatra could do it if Catherine could. Years later, when their paths eventually crossed at a Canadian charity event, Michael stated he felt like an anxious teenager meeting his first crush. "I forgot how to talk," he laughed, "which is uncommon for me." But Catherine, true to style, diffused the tension quickly. She gave him a hug. No courteous handshake. Not a nod from a famous person. A motherly embrace, full and comforting. Michael smiled as he remembered. "Oh honey, I love your voice." And that was all. I would walk into traffic for her after that. They developed a peaceful, loving friendship based on music, humor, and a common sense of pride in their country after that. Beyond just a funny woman for many, Catherine O'Hara is linked with laughter. Her comedic timing is renowned. Her characters are audacious, outrageous, and memorable. But Michael wanted something more profound to be understood by the world. He told the crowd that evening, "She's the funniest person I've ever met. But what people don't always see is how kind she is." He paused. "She's the kind of person that calls you just to check if you're okay. Who remembers the birthdays of your children? Who writes notes by hand? Who is present when it counts?" Behind him, the orchestra made a gentle shift. "She doesn't perform kindness," he continued. "She just is kind." And it was during one of the darkest periods in Michael's life that he received that generosity. When the music quit, when his little kid received a dreadful cancer diagnosis a few years ago, Michael completely removed himself from the spotlight. Tours were cancelled, delays in albums. Fame suddenly felt pointless. He once said, "I didn't care about anything except my boy. There was nothing else." From a distance, the world sent prayers and best wishes. Catherine didn't merely convey a message though, she arrived. "She didn't ask what I needed," Michael remarked. "She just delivered cookies and soup to my door." The crowd gave a quiet laugh. And she remained. No cameras, no fuss, she simply sat with us. Made jokes. Played ridiculous games with the kids. Made us forget, even if just for a few minutes, how afraid we were. His voice cracked. "Do you know what a gift that is? To get laughter from a scared person?" He hastily wiped his eye. "That's Catherine." The tribute song. Michael adjusted the microphone. He remarked, "I wanted to sing something tonight. Not one of my songs. Something that resembles her." The band began the delicate opening bars of Smile. The Charlie Chaplin classic about finding optimism through heartache. It wasn't flashy. No major production. Just piano, strings. Michael's voice too. "Even if your heart hurts, smile." The songs drifted through the theater like smoke. "Even though it's breaking, smile." People held hands. Some wept silently, since it was appropriate. It fit her well. That message seems to encapsulate Catherine's entire career and spirit. Keep moving, keep loving, keep laughing, even when life hurts. Particularly when it is painful. Michael left the microphone halfway through the song so that the audience could sing the chorus. Hundreds of voices. One common emotion. Tales only a friend is aware of. The applause wasn't particularly loud after the song concluded. It was delicate, like no one wanted to shatter the enchantment. Michael laughed quietly. He quipped, "She's going to kill me for being this emotional." "Bublé, stop being so dramatic," she will remark. The crowd laughed through tears. Then he began to tell stories. Once after a show, Catherine texted him, "You struck that note as if you were attempting to settle a mortgage." How she mocked him incessantly about his suits. She claims that I dress like a 1962 game show host. How she once encouraged him to do a dreadful karaoke version of Total Eclipse of the Heart at a private party. And recorded the whole thing. He acknowledged, she has blackmail material. But every joke circled back to the same idea. Love, he remarked, she never makes you feel small. You feel safe even when she's making fun of you. Why this tribute matters. Michael clarified that he has been dreaming about doing something unique for years. Not because Catherine inquired, since she would never do so. He firmly stated, "But some people deserve their flowers while they're here. Don't wait." Not in a depressing montage. Right now, the audience exploded in cheers. It felt like a collective agreement. Legends are much too frequently honored just after they have passed away. Michael refused to wait. "She's still here," he smiled. "Still making us laugh. Remaining the greatest person I've ever met. Thus, this is for her tonight." An unexpected message, then an unforeseen event occurred. The screen behind him came to light with a flicker. A video that has already been recorded. Catherine herself. She looked precisely like you'd hope. Warm eyes, naughty smile, that familiar voice laced with mild humor. "Oh no," she let out a loud moan. "Michael, what did you do?" The audience laughed. She said, "I told him not to make a big deal." And clearly, he did not listen. Classic Bublé. Her voice then became softer. "My dear, you didn't have to do this, Michael. But thank you. And for the record, I adore you too, even if you are oversing." The audience let forth a roar. She ended simply, "Keep singing. Keep loving your babies. And maybe, loosen the knot once in a while. The screen dimmed. Michael was simultaneously crying and laughing. He remarked, "She's unbelievable." A night that felt like home. By the end of the show, it didn't feel like a concert anymore. It had the feel of a living room. Similar to family. Similar to Canada. Like every late-night discussion, every shared joke, every time when someone quietly shows up for you. Michael wished for everyone to comprehend that. Greatness is more than just skill. It's heart. Both are abundant in Catherine O'Hara. During the last encore, he remarked, "She taught me that if you're not kind, success doesn't mean anything. If you can't make someone's day better, what's the point?" The final words. Michael gave the audience one final glance before stepping off the platform. "Call them if you have someone like Catherine in your life," he said. "Express your love for them. Don't delay a beat. Because the true heroes are those who make us laugh when we're crying." He blew the ceiling a kiss. "For you, Cat." Then the lights went dark. After the applause later, clips from the night spread over social media. Fans hailed it one of his most dramatic performances ever. It felt like therapy, according to some. Others reported that it served as a reminder to value those who silently keep their lives together. But for Michael, it wasn't about headlines. It has to do with appreciation. A simple thank you to a woman who had offered so much joy to the world, and considerably more behind the scenes. Because loss isn't always the subject of the most tragic tributes. They're about love so deep, it almost hurts.